not even about to beat your ass to a soundtrack. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka GeekXX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Weak Hero. We're on season 2, episode 2. So in the last episode, we got to see what has happened since the last events of the first season. Xian has moved to another school, and we see that he is very much trying to keep his head down and just make it to the end of this semester because he apparently needs to be sent abroad to finish out his studies, which would sound like heaven considering what he's been through. But of course, new school, new problems. The school he's been transferred to has got a lot of problematic students and they're running a racket there. And one of his fellow students is unfortunately caught up in all of it. And Xian does his best to ignore it and just kind of mind his business. But through a series of events, this young man ends up taking inspiration from Xian. And as a result, he almost gets pummeled very badly for it. And Xian just can't step back or hold back anymore. He feels like he needs to intervene. So we ended the episode with him breaking the kind of rule you could see he sent for, that he set up for himself of not getting involved and actually stepping in to stop this kid from getting seriously hurt. So we'll have to see what this does now because Xian was very much flying under the radar to a degree at this point. So let's see what happens now that he's decided to open up this can of worms. So let's jump in. Just before I do though, if you'd like to be in the know when I drop episodes, please hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell. And if you'd like to see an uncut version of this reaction, you can check that out on my Patreon. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now.
선 넘지 말라고.
Bunch of useless students standing by watching someone literally get beaten that badly. Can we even call them human? Does he have a pen? See, when someone just gets up like that, I get terrified. Okay. Yeah, this boy's gonna be a future serial. Whatever you need to do, bro. More courage in that stare than you have in your whole body. Yeah, you're terrified because you know that's not right. That's not a right.
좀 좋아.
Yeah, you know he's not right.
바코 없다고 바로 양아치 짓 하나 보네. 한동안 잠잠하다 했다.
So he's not even the lead bully. That's awkward. Backing up, and he hasn't even raised his hand.
맷집 좋네? 맷집 좋아.
That's the best you've got, huh? Seriously, that dead stare? Well done. You did that to yourself. You just stood out of the way. Oh yeah, the locker. Yeah, the locker's definitely had it coming.
눈 깔아, 씨발놈아.
I wonder that exactly. What is he looking at?
뭘 하나도 안 바빠 보이는구만. 야 그리고 네가 꺼지라고 하면 내가 꺼져야 되냐? 그 힘들면 숨이나 좀 제대로 쉬고 말해 족봐봐.
It's true, you are winded.
좀 뭐라 그랬냐?
Yeah, you're rethinking a lot of life decisions right now, aren't you?
씨발 바코 없었으면은.
So close. He would have broke your jaw.
체육관으로 보러 갈까?
Yeah, maybe you should. I want to see the show.
체육관은 씨발.
Yeah,
바다
yes.
미끄럽잖아 거기. 너도 이 씨발 새끼야.
Sure.
나와.
Loser.
야 그 고맙다는 말은 조금 낯간지러우니까 나중에.
He wasn't going to. He didn't actually ask you to step in. Respectfully.
가자. 보건실.
Respect. You took that beating. You did what you had to do. Wasn't the smartest move, but no one can call you a coward at this point.
아이 그럼 뭐 내가 그 고맙다라는 말을 진짜 들으려고 했던 건 아닌데.
But I didn't
그렇네.
ask you to help me.
그럼 싸가지가 없는 거야 아니면 재수가 없는 거야?
Sure.
어.
Exactly. I know I need to be thanked for doing the right freaking thing. Okay, no judgment. No judgment.
체험만 맨날 교무실 불려가더라고. 그러면
That's true. It's not like this school obviously does anything about bullying.
그래서 세균 감염이 의심될 때는 의시딘 발라야 돼.
He just put it in his hand.
최후만 주먹은 세균 덩어리나 마찬가지.
I agree that he doesn't look like the kind of man who washes his hands ever.
왜 그랬어?
You know
애들
what?
폰 왜 돌려줬냐고.
이탄 제3법칙.
He took what you said to heart.
적용에는 옳은 반작용이 따른다.
I mean, technically, you stepping in was a good reaction, so he wasn't totally wrong.
최후만 언젠가 나의 일륜들어 그의 숨결을 아사오리.
BS.
맞아요. 어이.
Homie's like, okay, y'all are nerding out a little too much for me now. I gotta go. It's a little too much.
그게 지금 뭔 소리야? 최유만이 연신을 왜 피해?
Oh, you don't know the rumors.
너는 뭐 학교를 다니는 거야, 마는 거야.
Clearly, it's probably why he's been out of trouble.
연시은 전학 온 동네에 연락을 싹 돌린 거야. 그 새끼에 대해서 좀 알아보려고, 간 보려고.
And what did he hear?
근데
What fiction did he hear?
중심 만들어놨다는 거지. 아령으로 대가리 찢고 가위로 모가지 찌르고.
That was actually true, though.
근데 왜 은장을 얻겠냐? 사고를 그냥 어마무시하게 쳤으니까 받아주는 학교가 없는 거지.
There's some truth to the legend.
그 확인도 안 되는 소문으로 애들 뒷담 까고 그러지 말자.
Oh, not you defending him.
어?
He developed a crush. Cute. She ain't even trying any collecting people like Pokemon. He can't help it. He's like, I got that aura.
소문처럼 사페 아닌 것 같다고. 그 뒤에서 뒷담 까지 말라고 하던데. 고탁이 편 존나 들어준 것 같아.
I don't know about taking his side. All he said was that you shouldn't gossip.
아주 개빡치는 거. 어?
I lost a brain cell listening to them talk. Always buying
이거-
things for people.
참 잘한다고 해서
Are you my friend or my nurse,
너
sir?
학교에서 많이 자는 것 같길래
Oh, he noticed. Okay, that was sweet. Not too much magnesium, though. It'll give you the runs.
오늘 고마웠어.
The way he just keeps putting things in his hand.
그럼 내일 학교에서 봐.
Run away, run away. He's kind of endearing.
원래 자는 것도 충분히
The sleeping pills.
잠이 안 와서
Is he gonna try the magnesium? Might work. And at least it's not drugs. And the pills are clearly not working. Just not too much. I'm serious. Too much magnesium, you're gonna be up all night on the toilet. I think what you really need though is some friends. He needs some friends so he cannot focus so much on what happened to his other friends.
오늘은 안 졸려? 점심시간에 안 자네?
Maybe it worked.
네가 준 거 효과 있는 거 같더라.
Maybe it might have been the sentiment a little too.
이게 내가 진짜 좋은 거 있는데 그거 이따가 올라가서 내 거 한번 먹어봐. 그게
He's literally going to become your dietary consultant going forward. Chew.
삼키고 말하는 게 어떨까?
Right? Like, it's okay. I don't blame him though. He's like, wow, he's actually talking to me. I don't want to waste time swallowing when I could actually get everything I wanted to say to him for weeks out in one sentence.
나는 점심시간에 이렇게 편하게 있었던 적이 없어가지고 뭔가 불안해.
Not she and scary aura protecting you.
여기 있었어. 한참 찾았잖아.
친구, 누구 친구?
저기 저 포랭이 새끼 하나 보이지? 왜 어제 끼어들었던 새끼 하나 있잖아.
Really? You're getting me in the middle of your beef?
아니 막아 있다면 그게 아니라 쭉 막았어야 될 거 아니야.
Trying to create beef. We'll see if Sheehan falls for it.
둘이 화해하나?
얼마?
The way Sheehan just wants to go to school? Oh my god, and now he's involved in whatever this soap opera is between these bullies.
혼자 쳐오지 말고.
아니 나는 네가 계속 나를 쳐 꼬라보니까
Like, why are you even in a high school? You look 45.
아 씨발 아주 진작에 그랬어야 되는 건데 그지? 어?
이 씨발 새끼야, 저 뒤집어진
Okay, calm down, hot temper. He's playing it well, not gonna lie. He's definitely pulling some strings to make it look like his story's real.
니들은 슛 연습이나 열심히
But
안
smart of
해요?
Sheehan to just get out of there. But it's not gonna end. Pulling him into something he has nothing to do with.
준태야, 같이 좀 가자. 새로운 미션 있어.
Wow, y'all had to wait till Sheehan was gone, huh? But also, what's going on with Juntae's parents? Like, they're not noticing the fact that their kids coming home wrecked every day. If I know for my mother, if I came home with so much as a scratch that I didn't leave with, she'd be at the school the next day with fists flying. Like, I just understand how you can watch your kid get bullied and just let it happen.
주부터 안 보였는데요.
Shion, who never speaks.
윤신이 웬일이냐? 말타기냐?
Right?
농구 동아리실 그 별관 앞에 그 창고 하나 있잖아.
Yeah, this perfect setup. Do you know, you probably know it's a setup, right, Shion? But the sad thing is you're going to have to go regardless because you know that they're going to hurt Juntae one way or another.
괜찮아?
What do you think? And now he's going to get those guys to show up at the basketball room and they're going to think that those two messed up the room.
연시은이 좀 보자는데.
Has he ever been the type to send a messenger?
야 연신!
Yes. And it doesn't help that Shion does have the face of a killer. He really does. He does look like the kind of person who would do something crazy, but that's not his style. But we'll see if he's smart enough to put two and two together. I'm getting the sense it's not so much.
웬만해서는 이쪽으로 안 다니는 게 좋아서. 왜냐하면은 그 양아치 애들 막 삥 뜯고 싸우고 하는 곳이거든 여기가.
Homie's like, I've been bullied in every possible way. Maybe we shouldn't go the way the bullies go.
돌아가면 시간 아깝잖아.
Homie said, they don't own these streets. Really? This is the kid you think messed up your room. This kid who doesn't even know you.
우리 말 안 들을 거잖아.
Exactly. You're an idiot.
그냥 때려.
Since you're here to beat me up.
말해줄게. 너안 돼도.
Right?
너 전에 학교에서 애 하나 죽였다며. 아니야?
Find out.
그 뭐 죽은 게 아니라 병신 만들었다고 했나?
That is...
식물인가?
You might actually provoke him to a fight.
애새끼가 남 인생 조져놓고 착한 척하고 지랄이야.
Although maybe he feels like he deserves the beating. It's going to be one or the other. He's either going to fight or he's going to feel like he deserves it. Not the pencil case. I'm not mad at him getting mad though, because I think he needs to feel something. He's been trying to numb out and it's not working. You and that pen. His balls are right there, bro. Not my sports coat. Yeah, you realize you've both been played? Yet? Ugh, it's a lot of people. Bro, can you just run if you're not gonna help then? Jeez. And I know Juntae's not built for it, but I'm just saying, don't become a liability in this. Ooh, get up quick. He gets one swing of that bat and you're done for, Shion. God damn, that it's hurt. Oh, you think you're a badass because it took a bat? But anyway. Oh, someone does make you listen. I hope it's that Baku guy, because you've been asking for a beating for a minute. Not even about to beat your ass to a soundtrack. Oh, y'all backing up now? But you were tough a second ago. Come on. Don't give up now. With the dye job. Wow.
나 좀 감길 것 같지 않냐?
Who's that? Sure. Time to die?
아, 내가 그 만화를 아직 못
I'm
봐가지고.
not even having a conversation.
야, 이 상황이.
About what?
상황이
Oh,
너가
that bat just fell into your hand, huh? Not in the flip. Oh man, if you get taken out in the Chancellors? In the Chancellors? He's like, what am I witnessing? Wow, the airtime.
속도 V에
And the fact that you stood there waiting for it, you deserve every ounce of the pain you're about to feel.
너 누구냐?
Nobody.
처음 보는 얼굴인데?
Let's keep it that way. I was never here.
깡다구가 좀 있다.
That he does. Okay, I think I like Baku. He's a bit crazy from the looks of things, but he kind of reminds me of homie from last season who is now sadly in a coma. Very kind of the same energy, right? The ability to fight, but kind of doesn't take it too seriously. But yeah, so yeah, Sheehan is right back in it. He did not want to be, not necessarily, but you know, he does respect what Juntae did, the courage that it took for him to give the phones back and know that it was going to result in him getting beaten, potentially to the point of being hospitalized or worse, but, you know, thinking that it was the right thing to do. And, you know, again, as I said in the last episode, was it a smart plan? No, but no one can call this kid a coward after that, right? Like, it took a lot of guts for him to do that. It was a way of standing up to the bullies, even if it wasn't going to be long term. I mean, he is still scared of them. He's still not prepared to really stand up, you know, consistently, but it was a big step. And so, you know, even though Sheehan doesn't want to admit it outwardly, it got to him, right? It did. The fact that he listened to what he said about the third law, and the fact that he was motivated to do something, I think really does, you know, Sheehan's proud of him for that, because Sheehan is not a coward, as we've seen. Like, he's a bit off kilter, if we're being real, but he's not afraid of bullies in particular, right? And it's not to say that people are, that there's anything wrong with them. I want to make it clear that I don't want to make it sound like it's not a very real thing to be scared of bullies. It's not a very real thing to be scared of pain. Bullies don't just physically attack, they also emotionally and mentally attack people. The threats that they give, you know, a lot of these bullies will, you know, say all kinds of things that can be very terrifying to people. So I get that it's not easy or even possible for some people to overcome their fear, at least in that point, over bullies. But the truth of the matter is that bullies are always cowards. Anyone who feels the need to go after people they perceive as weaker is a coward. That's all there is to it. Even if they can fight, even if they seem tough, they're in their hearts, in their minds, they're cowards. And that's what Sheehan knows. And that's why he doesn't respect them. And that's why he isn't really scared of them. And as we saw, he's not really scared of getting hurt, which is not necessarily a sane thing. But, you know, he's not scared of getting hurt, right? He doesn't want to die, don't get me wrong. We saw that he was genuinely worried when he thought that, Gilman was gonna hit him with that bat. But you know what I mean? He's not scared of a beating. He's not scared of getting hit or hurt or getting a bruise or two, because in his mind, it's a small price to pay to get these bullies to leave him alone, right? So anyway, we see that in this episode that because this new person we've been introduced to, since we found out that, he intervened in stopping Hyoman, but not because he really wanted to, you know, he cared about Sheehan. He just did it because he doesn't like the fact that Hyotak is not listening to Baku's orders of not bullying or not having fighting in the school. And so we see that, you know, annoyingly, Hyoman is actually pretty smart. In the sense of that he figured out, okay, if Sheehan, who's a crazy person, and this other guy who can clearly kick my ass are in cahoots, that's bad news for me. So I got to make sure that these two don't get close. So how can I do that? What does he do? He creates this little plan. He already knows that, is it Hyotak? Yeah, Hyotak is a hothead. So he knows that if he pushes the right buttons and says the right things, Hyotak will believe him. And of course, Sheehan, being the type of person he is, like, Sheehan just is a bulldozer, right? He just goes the way he's going. He doesn't care who's in his way. And he clearly doesn't care about any of this stuff, right? He doesn't talk a lot. He's not going to defend himself. So, you know, sadly, Hyoman's plan was almost perfect. And in the sense of, you know, Hyotak falling for it, hook, line, and sinker, pardon me. But what we see is that Sheehan almost would have gotten away with it, because I think if Sheehan had remained cool when Hyotak was, you know, provoking him, saying, oh, you know, let's go, like, what did you do to my club room, right? Like, Sheehan was right. He's like, you've already made up your mind. You're going to beat me up. Then go ahead and beat me up if that makes you feel better so we can get this over with. But we see that it was, you know, Hyotak pushed the right buttons, right? We know that Sheehan has not been able to sleep for the last little while because of his guilt over what happened to his friend. He feels like that's his fault, even though it isn't directly. But you know, he's been carrying that with him. And even though he wasn't the one who actually crippled him, he feels like that's what happened, right? So it's just, you know, it was just the right buttons at the wrong time. Let's put it that way. So that's what caused that fight to even happen. But, you know, Shien's no pushover. We see him in that pen. He's really about stabbing people with that pen. But anyway, because of the timing of everything, we saw that it escalated very quickly. And of course, unfortunately, Juntae was absolutely no help because he's too scared of getting beat to tell the truth. I think Hyotak would have believed him if he'd said, like, hey, like, it was actually Hyoman who did that. He locked me in the locker, because that's very much him. But yeah, that situation was going to get messy regardless. So anyway, thankfully, we see the save came in from Baku. It would be interesting to see what his character's all about coming forward. But outside of that, I think the good highlight of this episode as well is that we see that Shien is starting to let someone in again. Like, as much as he was trying to keep everybody out for his own personal reasons, Juntae is very thoughtful, right? He's a bit bumbly, but he's very thoughtful in caring. And the fact that he noticed that, for example, that Shien's not sleeping well, and he gave him the magnesium and the lutein and all these things. He's like, take these things, it might help you sleep. And we see that when Shien did take the magnesium, it actually worked, and he slept for the first time, and we don't even know how long. And again, I do think it's somewhat the magnesium, yes, but I honestly, because listen, if he's been giving actual prescription sleeping pills, those should have knocked him all the way out. But I think the difference is that somebody cared about him. Someone actually saw him, literally saw him, saw there was a problem, and thought of a solution to offer him. And that seems little, but we've seen in the first episode, Shien's mom does not pay attention to him, right? She's in her own world talking about next season or next semester, everything. This boy is a zombie beside her, right? His mom doesn't see him. She doesn't understand him. She's not focusing on him because she would know he's not okay. People in his school, for the most part, ignore him or have a prejudgment about him. This one kid who he barely helped, right? Barely helped, noticed that he wasn't sleeping well, noticed that he doesn't seem like he's doing okay, and did something for him. So that touched him, whether he wants to admit it or not. And I think it's the fact that he was seen and someone cared is honestly what gave him a little bit of peace and allowed him to sleep, right? Because he's just been, a lot of why he can't sleep is because this won't turn off for him. So anyway, I thought that was kind of sweet. And clearly him sitting at the table with him and letting him, rattle on, right? This is Shien's way of slowly opening up, right? So I think that's a good thing for him because Shien does need some type of human connection or contact. That's what he's missing now. He thinks that shutting everybody out is the way because he doesn't want to get hurt again. But honestly, the best way for him to heal is to figure out that he can have a relationship, he can have friends, he can have connections, and that it's not always going to end up some toxic, twisted thing like it did in the last season with everything. So yeah, I thought that was kind of a really good episode. It was a good episode for Shien, a little bit of progression and development from him. And then we got introduced to a couple new characters. So I do think that Hyotak and Baku are probably going to end up being loose friends with Shien because they already know that Hyoman's an idiot. So anyways, we're going to see how that all goes. And we still haven't forgotten about the guy we met last episode, right? Because the reason that Hyoman is also so freaked out is because he owes that boss dude a bunch of phones and he just lost them all. So, even though Hyoman is a jerk and he deserves what he deserves, but, I also understand he's under pressure and there's a reason he's acting the way that he is too. So yeah, another good episode. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love and I'll see you in the next one.